Okay, so my personal story. So I was at university at the time, and I was not being challenged at all in life, and I'm someone that's always looking for the next challenge and wants to push myself in ways that I haven't pushed myself before. And I think being at university, although it would have been good to get that degree and sort of go forwards and have a career in an office, it didn't interest me. I kind of thought I was suited to a slightly more colourful life, should we say. So I was in Nottingham, a university up there, and I came down to buy some England football tickets, and I got off at the wrong tube station, at the wrong train station, because in Wembley there are lots of train stations, and I was going to the box office there. So in Wembley there are like 3 or 4 stations you can get off for the training ground. I got off at the wrong one because I'd never been there before, and the only shop that was open that I could see was an army recruitment place. So I went over and asked these 2 guys in uniform where I was and where I should go to get these tickets. And they said, "Oh, you've got off at the wrong station. Everybody does the same thing. Just go to the next one. You can get your tickets there." But they said, "Oh, and just by interest, like, what are you doing with life? Like, what's your?" And I had no interaction with the army before. Yeah. I had some friends that had been cadets and things, but I'd never been in the cadets. This is like school age. You can go from, I think, 11 or 12 years old, and you can learn the basics of soldiering without really the fighting element, if you like. So I said to them, "I'm just on my way to pick up some football tickets." And they got me in the office, and they sat me down, and they said, gave me a little bit of a mirror, a little reflection on my life so far, and said, isn't there an interest at all in the army? And I said, "Well, not really, I've never thought about it." And they said, "Come and sit this test." Back then it was called the BARB test, so the British Army Recruit Battery test. And you sit down and you start going through this exam on a computer screen. And at first I thought it was a joke, because the questions were more than easy, should we say. It was, Jim has 6 apples, Rosie has 4 apples, who's got more apples? So you choose Jim, of course. 5 apples, she's got 4 apples. But what I didn't know, so I put my hand up and I said, is this a joke? Because I've come from a university lecture to this, I thought, my God. And what I didn't know was that it was also timed, so you would score higher if you hit the answers quickly, because it shows that you can process this information quicker, and like I say, you get scored on your time. And I scored relatively highly, fortunately. And I got a list of jobs, and they said, you can do this, you can do this. What are your interests? And I said at the time, I enjoy medicine. I'd always thought of having like a fighting medical role if I wanted to do this. And they said, sure. We've got a combat medic, which means you can go to war, you can be on the front lines with the infantry, but you also get to treat them. So that's wonderful. And they sold me a very interesting story. It wasn't always like that, I must admit, but from that day I then went back and attested, and at my attestation then I found out my date that I would be starting my basic training, which is the 3 months of... There are many reasons why joining the army is a good step. There's a whole load of pride that's attached to it. There's the brotherhood, the camaraderie. Once you're in and you're with your brothers, and your sisters, they become your family. And you form bonds that you would never think are possible. You become so close to these people because you live with them, you eat with them, you sleep in the same dormitories, and you just become such a tight unit. You fight for each other, and everything you do is for your brothers and your sisters. And there's an immense amount of pride that you feel for serving your country. and the opportunities that you get are incredible. Some of the things I've done from being in the army are insane, and the wage is very good as well. So some of the things I've done, I've been to Norway skiing on biathlon training. So you ski and you shoot, and we were quite good at it, so we managed to get through a couple of competitions. And I ended up being away for about 6 months, being paid a normal wage, but just skiing up in the mountains. It was unbelievable. And then you get some not so great things that you have to do, but of course, sometimes you'll get insanely brilliant things to do, and sometimes you'll think, hey, why did I join? This is crazy. But those tough times are very, very short-lived, and you get to the good times very quickly.
Is that more than enough?
Yes.
That is. Of course that is, but...
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. You live quite comfortably. It depends what kind of person you are as well. If you're sensible with your money, if you just like to spend it all on what we call millionaire's weekend. So a lot of guys, and it's normal for soldiers because there's a lot of stress, so they have to blow off the steam, of course. But a lot of them will get paid on the first of the month, and then by the second they're completely broke because they've spent it all on alcohol or going out on crazy nights out. But no, when you get your wage, it's a good wage. Your accommodation and things are taken out of it automatically, so you pay for this automatically. You don't have to worry about settling up afterwards. And your meals, in some places your meals are included in your wage. In other places you have to pay for your meals. It just depends on where you get posted, where you go. But if you ever run out of money, there's no way in the world that the chefs are going to say, no, you don't have money, you can't eat today. When I was just leaving in late 2011, 2012, there was an initiative that had just come in, and before my whole army career had been, the food was paid for by the army, you didn't have to pay. But when I was leaving, they were bringing in, I think the food was about £2 or £1.50 or something like that to eat your breakfast, lunch and dinner. So it's very cheap, of course. But if you didn't have money, then you would have to sign a chit, and it was called Hungry Soldier. It's very silly. And if you had to sign this chit a few times, then you would have to report to one of your seniors, and they would say, why have you run out of money all the time? What are you doing with all your money? And I think only once I had to sign this because I had a bit of a crazy month. And, it's quite embarrassing. But I got pulled into the office and said, hey, Zoumides, you're always good with money. Like, well, what's going on? So, oh, my bills are big this month. And that was it. Okay, it's worth risking everything. Like, if you feel tired when you're doing your training, it's normal. We've all been there. We've all done it. You're not the only person that's gone through it. But lean on your brothers, lean on your other recruits, and get through it together. That's the only way that you will succeed, is by helping each other out. This is why from the first day that I came to have a look at your training, one of the first words I said was brotherhood. And it's completely about that. You have to help each other. You have to come together and pull each other through. That means the really fit guys will have to work with the not so fit guys, because the not so fit guys may be much better English and maths than the really fit guys. It's transactional, but you help each other out because you're one unit. And a unit that doesn't help each other out is a unit that will fail on every mission that they go through. So if you feel like giving up, that's exactly the moment that you've got to challenge yourself, and you've got to dig deeper than you've ever done before. Okay? you get through that, you can hold your head up high and say, well, even if I didn't make the time, I did myself proud. So, like I was saying, when you feel like you can't give anymore, or your body's tired, or your mind's tired, that's the exact moment that you've got to reach inside yourself and dig as deep as you possibly can, deeper than you've ever dug before, and just get through it. The majority of the time, it's in the mind, and your mind blocks you from doing things. If you can release that, relax a bit, and just get on with it, and get through it, then the rewards are absolutely endless.
Well, John, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I hope you are enjoying your stay here.
That's
Thank you very much for visiting to my school, our school, yours school actually.
Our school.
It's yours.
Yeah.
It's yours. Whenever you feel like you want to come here, please let me know.
For sure.
Because there is always there for you.
Thank you. You too. If you ever find yourself coming to England, you just give me a call and I'll take you into some of the bases that we have as well. So you can have a look around and see what's going on. We'll speak to some Gurkhas as well, get you into the places like that. You can at least see what a day in the life with these guys are like. I'm sure they'd love a visit.
So many things to see here. Rather than here are just mountains and all.
You say just mountains and all, but you have the most beautiful views that I think my eyes have ever laid eyes on, and I've been to a lot of countries. So these mountain ranges here, they are breathtaking. They're insanely cool. So yeah, you guys are very lucky, but at the same time, I would hate to have to train up those mountains, man. That'd be terrible. I mean, I'd die in no time.
Thank you, John. Let's see you soon. Very soon.
Cool.